Some more details have come out about the Shohei Ohtani contract, and apparently it was leaked that the Blue Jays offered the same amount of money over the same amount of years as the Dodgers, but ultimately Shohei chose to stay in Southern California. Don't know if it hurts more or less, but we'll break that down and much more on this episode of Jays Digest. Oh, what's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. And it's been a couple of days now since Shohei has decided to sign with the LA Dodgers. Not official yet, but I can't take this anymore. So in my head, it's official, and he's no longer on the free agent market. But it's a huge amount of money, Nick, $700 million over 10 years. Crazy, but we've never seen a player of this caliber ever hit the free agent market before either. So there's a reason why he got paid that much money. There's a reason why the Blue Jays were in on the mix. It was a huge marketing deal for them, and apparently they offered the same contract, which in my opinion makes it sting a little bit more. But $700 million for Rogers to go up and step up and commit that amount of money to one player, you got to believe that they're going to be pretty aggressive. Now, we know they're not going to make that same splash. They're not going to get that same kind of impact player for $700 million, but they could still be very aggressive and make this team a lot better.
Yeah, and the biggest thing here is that, again, it might sting more, it might sting less, but there are positives to take from this. But before we do into that, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button. About 70% of you guys aren't subscribed. We're on the road to 11,200 right now. All right, Peter, let's get into the first topic like you mentioned, which is the offer reveal. Now, Ben Nicholson-Smith dropped this pretty late yesterday night, and I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think we were going to get any more Ohtani details, and I'm assuming this is the last bit of information, because in the article you can see they reached out to Ross Atkins, and he declined to comment. But, Peter, this was the notification we got saying the Blue Jays' offer to Shohei was right there financially with the Dodgers' 10-year, $700 million deal. And when you go more in depth, it basically says how close the Jays were. We are unsure, but we do know that one source with knowledge of talks said the Blue Jays were right there with an offer described as very competitive, meaning, like you said, well over $600 million. And when they reached out to both GM Ross Atkins and CAA spokesperson, they declined to comment. So, Peter, it's a good sign that they were close, but I didn't think they were going to be close to $700 million at all. So it stings a little bit more because maybe we were closer, but I think it also shows that ultimately Ohtani wanted to play with the Dodgers.
Yeah, I think that's what it shows. But what it shows to me as well is that this Blue Jays front office is very aggressive. And you're not only going after a player when you go after Shohei Ohtani, you're going after market money, you're going after television deals, you're going after all of that off the field stuff. So he's not just one player. He's a player plus off the field. So it would have been a great investment for Rogers. I'm sure they saw it that way. Are they going to go out and spend $700 million on the open market now on 4 or 5 players? Probably not. Let's taper our expectations on that front. But you can spend half of that and you can make your team significantly better heading into next season. There's trade candidates out there. Lewis Roberts, Christian Yelich, pitchers on the market as well. There are so many ways to make this team better. Is it going to be as flashy and is it going to be as fun as Shohei Ohtani? No, but there's still some pretty good players. It's not like there's one player in the league and then everyone else is just filling roster spots. There's a lot of superstar talent in Major League Baseball and a lot of star-level talent in Major League Baseball. So the Jays can make this team better. I think Cody Bellinger would be the guy, but maybe if you want to go more short-term, there are other ways to address it. But, Nick, like I said in previous streams and previous videos, this is not the end of the world for this Blue Jays team. They can spend, and they can make this team a lot better in the near future.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm over the Shohei Ohtani stuff, but I think ultimately we can, like you said, round out our team a little bit better, and we'll get into that in a second. But, Peter, I just want to throw this out there. There was a lot of heat at John Heyman from one of his most recent articles, basically just trashing Toronto and how it's not a baseball city besides hockey. Do you have any quick thoughts on that? Because I know Kevin Gausman came out and called out John Heyman. I'm sick of that, but I just wanted to throw that out there because it was blowing up on Twitter. John Heyman got to be better.
Yeah, and the caption that he posted on Twitter was
even worse.
Better for the game, better for us. Better for who? For you Americans? I'm sure there were 35 plus million Canadians that wanted to see Shohei in Blue Jay blue, but whatever. I don't even want to talk about this idiot anymore, man. I'm over his stuff. I'm over his whole shtick. His entire thing is just hating on specific
teams.
regions of North America, and I don't understand his hatred towards Canada. It looks like it is hatred to me. That's what it comes off as. And then you have Ken Rosenthal kind of reiterating those same things. I just don't understand. They clearly are not familiar with what Toronto has to offer. We're not even from Toronto, Nick, and we know how great of a city it is. So I don't even want to talk about this nonsense anymore. I don't want to feed fuel. I don't want to add fuel to his fire, because then we're just giving him what he wants. We're giving him attention, and he's doing a lot of stuff on Twitter lately for attention. At least that's what it seems like to me. So I'd rather not entertain it, and I'd rather not give him what he's seeking.
Yeah, I agree. And ultimately, the big deal here was that the Jays almost at least had the financial capabilities to bring in Ohtani, and we'll see if they flex those muscles going forward. But let's quickly discuss a new Jays target that Ben Nicholson Smith or Shadavi, I'm not entirely sure, dropped a couple days ago. And Peter, we both kind of agree on this guy, and the more I think about it, the more I'm opening up to it. So this was in the aftermath. A middle of the bat order to better support Vladdy and Bo is a primary need. Short-term options like Rhys Hoskins and J.D. Martinez make sense as primary DHs. They could re-engage on Matt Chapman, but today we're going to focus on J.D. Martinez. We might discuss Rhys in a future video. But Peter, J.D. is a very, very interesting guy, and he goes on to say that the Jays could be looking for some shorter-term ads along with some long-term ads. And if you look at J.D. Martinez's stats here, Peter, he had a phenomenal 2023 with almost a 900 OPS, 33 home runs. He's been a hitter his entire career. The only downside is he is a primary DH at this point of his career. What are your thoughts on J.D. Martinez as maybe a one-year contract? His peripherals are off the charts, and he would fit very well into this lineup, albeit it's only most likely a one-year deal.
This guy is a professional hitter, and he's been that way for the majority of his career. Unbelievable talent. I mean, the guy can just do it all up there. He can take his walks. He can hit for power. What was it, 33 home runs last year and over 100 RBIs? Those totals would have both led the Blue Jays last year. So he's one of the best run producers in all of baseball. He has been for quite some time now, and he's very familiar with the AL East. He spent a lot of time with the Boston Red Sox. So I'd definitely be open to adding J.D. Martinez, one of the more underrated hitters in the game. We thought he was done a couple of years ago. Then he comes to the Dodgers and just kind of resurgence and revitalizes his career. So on a one-year deal, absolutely, I'd give him all the money that he wants on a one-year deal. This is an upgrade. I know he's a full-time DH. We may not want that as Blue Jay fans, but better than Brandon Belt. He's more consistent than Brandon Belt, so why not? Let's go for it. Near 900 OPS is nothing to sniff at, and 33 home runs, 100-plus RBIs, sign me up. If he wants to play every day in the DH role, go ahead and give him that money. One of the best, more underrated options on the free agent market.
Yeah, and it would give our catchers, you can look at it two ways. Either it gives Kirk and Jano some more time off, and it also obviously would maybe allow them to play a little bit less, which is also probably both ultimately good things given their injury history, specifically Jano. But like you said, I like it. I like it a lot. He is 36 years of age. When you're comparing this to maybe a Rhys Hoskins type, even a Jorge Soler, you need to get on, I assume, 2 to 3 year contract at the very least. He's going to want some term there. And Martinez has been more consistent than Jorge Soler, especially in his career. He's been a long-time guy. Peter used to he destroys the Jays. I've seen him several times at absolute moonshots in the Rogers Center, so I wouldn't mind having him and I mean, like you said, at this point, there's probably going to be more short-term ads than anything. Maybe we make one big trade for a long-term ad, but when you're looking at short-term ads, I can't think of a much better guy than him. I'd much rather Martinez than Hoskins. I'd debatably rather more than Soler, depending on what the money is looking like, but I can't think of a much better option, and we have to pivot away from the Ohtani stuff and just start to think about actual good options for the team, because we're still a playoff team. We're still going to be hopefully a better team than last year, just from normal positive progression from Vladdy and Bo. But any final thoughts on this before we wrap up? I'm all in on Martinez, among others. I wouldn't want this to be the main move, of course.
Yeah, I'm all in on him as well. And let's be objective here. An offseason of J.D. Martinez, bringing back Matt Chapman, and trading for an outfielder, that's a good offseason. Yeah. That's a good offseason. And then you're banking on bounce backs from Alek Manoah, from Vladdy, Bo. You want him to continue what he's doing, and George Springer as well. I think he's got a bounce back season left in him. I don't think he's washed up. I think he's got some more baseball left in him. So the Blue Jays have ways to make it better. I don't know if you saw this tweet by Chris Black the other day, Nick. He was mentioning some names on the trade market: Christian Yelich, Luis Robert, Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians. So there are definitely ways that the Blue Jays could make this team better. And I don't think enough people are talking about Luis Robert as a potential target. It's going to cost a lot. It's going to have to start with Ricky Tiedemann plus, plus, plus. But I'm okay with paying that price because Luis Robert has 3 years left before he hits free agency. He hit 35 plus home runs last year. Another speed guy, five-tool player in the outfield, and you don't have to put him in center field. You could put him in left, and he'll stay healthy. So I'm looking at all these options on the trade market, on the free agent market. I'm not worried. Of course, it stinks that we didn't get Ohtani and that we're not going to see him in the Blue Jays organization for the near future, but it is what it is. Like I said, there's still some really quality players out there that can help out this Blue Jays team immensely. And I cannot wait for that first move to happen because then all the dominoes are going to start to fall into place for Ross Atkins and the rest of the front office.
Yeah, and I suspect that some of those moves are going to happen very soon. It won't be Shohei Ohtani, but we'll have videos covering it all. I suspect potentially a Cody Bellinger thing. I think they either go with a Cody Bellinger route, and if they strike out on him, what you just said, maybe bring back Chapman and make a trade for a big star. And I'm all in on the Luis Robert thing as well. But that'll wrap up the video. If you want to check our Ohtani video yesterday, click on your screen now, and we'll see you tomorrow when hopefully the Jays make a move.